Okay, so get this. Fidelity found that most people, when they're thinking about retirement health care costs, they're thinking,
Right.
oh, I just need about $75,000.
Okay.
But Fidelity's own data suggests it's way more like $165,000.
Wow.
So
Double.
potentially double, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about today. We're going
Okay.
to be looking at this Investopedia article about preparing for retirement healthcare costs.
I think this is going to be really helpful for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's a bit of a blind spot, I think, for a lot of folks. We
Right.
spend all this time,
Yeah.
worrying about having enough to retire, but then you retire and
Yeah.
healthcare
Yeah.
eats it all up.
Yeah, it's like the hidden cost
It is.
that nobody really talks about.
Absolutely. It's not just about having the money, you
Yeah.
know, it's about navigating
Right.
Medicare and insurance options, and
Right.
all that stuff.
Yeah, it can feel very overwhelming.
Yeah. And, there are people like John Wyatt at Financial Guideposts who,
Oh, I've heard his name.
yeah, he can really help navigate all this and just lay out a plan for you.
Okay, so definitely want to get his information to our listeners.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I mean, we have Medicare.
Yeah.
We hit 65.
Yep.
We're good.
Yeah, Medicare is like the safety net.
Like
It's
the-
not really a comprehensive solution.
Gotcha.
So it's like,
Right.
the first thing is it doesn't cover everything.
That's right. I read about this.
Yeah.
The Part B premium.
Yeah.
That's the one that covers doctor visits and
Yeah, outpatient care.
outpatient care, right?
That's going up in 2025.
It's going up again. Yeah. And then things like dental vision.
Yeah. Hearing aids, all that stuff
Yeah.
is not covered.
It's like all
Or
these-
very minimally.
Yeah. Like, why even bother?
Right. And then there's the big one, long-term care.
Okay.
If you need any help, bathing, dressing, anything like that,
Yeah.
Medicare's not going to cover that.
So we're talking about potentially
Thousands of dollars a month.
thousands of dollars a month
Yeah.
for like home health aides and
Private
stuff.
health aides, nursing homes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's more than some people's mortgages.
Exactly. So Genworth did the math on this.
Right.
Median annual cost of a home health aide, $75,000.
Oh my goodness.
Nursing home, $116,000 a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, I guess.
most people, Donna Steffens, who's an elder law expert,
Yeah.
said that most people are just
They're blindsided.
blindsided by this.
Yeah, they just don't even think about it.
Right. They don't think about it until it's too late.
Yeah, so this is where I'm thinking someone like John White comes in.
Yeah.
Like he's got that expertise to be like,
Yes. Yeah.
okay, we need to plan for this now.
Absolutely. And there are things you can do
Okay.
to sort of mitigate this, the financial burden. And John can help you
Yeah.
navigate all of that.
So you can kind of see
He's a guide.
he's a guide.
He's a guide.
Okay, so I'm starting to see the value of having a John White in your corner
Yes.
for this stuff.
Yeah.
But let's talk about just in general.
Okay.
Why are these costs so high?
Right.
Is it just inflation?
Well, inflation is a huge part of it.
Okay.
PwC actually predicts that medical costs are going to continue to rise faster than inflation,
Oh, great.
with a projected 8% increase in 2025 alone.
Wow. Okay.
But it's not just rising prices, we're also living longer,
That's true.
which means we need more care
Makes sense.
for more years.
Yeah.
And as we age, we're more likely to develop
What?
chronic conditions
Well,
that
yeah.
require ongoing care.
That's true.
So it's like a perfect storm.
Yeah, perfect storm.
Yeah.
And what's the impact of this perfect storm?
Well, the Kaiser Family Foundation found that unexpected health emergencies are a leading cause of bankruptcy,
Wow.
especially among older adults.
Oh my gosh.
So
This is serious.
it is. And even if you don't have that big medical event or whatever,
Right.
the rising costs just erode your savings.
Right. Yeah.
And it doesn't leave you much to enjoy retirement.
Yeah. So this is a big wake up call,
It is.
but I'm also sensing a glimmer of hope.
There are some things you can do.
There's solutions.
Yeah, there are strategies and resources
Okay.
to help you prepare and protect yourself,
Yeah.
financially. And this
No,
is what John White is really good at, taking complex topics and breaking them down into steps.
I like steps.
Yeah, actionable steps.
Actionable steps.
That's
Okay.
exact.
So let's talk about
Yeah.
some of those solutions. Let's start with long-term care insurance,
Okay.
because it seems like given these
Absolutely.
high costs,
It's a really good thing to consider.
I was going to say a key piece of the puzzle.
It is. It's not one size fits all.
Right.
We should probably get John on here to talk about it in detail.
That's a good idea. We should get him on the show.
He knows a lot about it.
Yeah, but just in general, like what does this cover and how does it work?
Okay, so basically it covers assistance with daily living
Mhm.
if you become unable to do them yourself.
Okay.
So if you have an illness, injury, or cognitive decline,
Right.
This could include like bathing, dressing, eating.
So it's not just for nursing home care.
No.
It could be if you need help at home.
Yes, exactly. A lot of people prefer to stay
in place, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Long-term care can help with that.
So I've heard that it can be
It can be
very expensive.
expensive. It depends on your age, your health, how much coverage you want, but you're weighing that against the potential of having to pay.
Right. There's a big cost down the road.
Those huge costs.
Right. So it's kind of like hedging your bets against the unknown.
Yes.
I see. So this is where I'm guessing John White comes in.
Yes, he can help assess your needs,
Okay.
understand the policies, and help you decide if it's right for you.
Okay. I'm seeing a pattern here. Anytime we hit a complicated topic,
John White.
it's like, call John White.
Call John White.
All right. But let's move on.
Okay.
There's other stuff we can talk about.
Right.
What about health savings accounts?
Oh, HSAs.
The HSAs, yeah, those are a big deal.
Big deal. So tax-advantaged savings account designed specifically for healthcare expenses.
Okay.
Huge for retirement planning.
I always thought that was only if you had
Right. You have to have
a high deductible
health plan
to even qualify.
to qualify, right?
So
if you do, it's a great tool.
What's so great about it?
Okay, so triple tax advantage.
Triple tax advantage.
Yeah. So first, contributions are tax deductible.
Okay.
So you reduce your taxable income.
Okay.
Up front, the money grows tax-free in the account, and withdrawals for qualified. Medical expenses are also tax-free.
So it's like a supercharged savings account just for healthcare?
It is.
I love it. What kind of things can you?
So many things.
Gift reviews.
Okay.
Hospital stays, prescription drugs, dental,
wow.
vision care, even some over-the-counter medicines.
Okay.
Here's the best part.
Okay.
You can use it for Medicare premiums.
Oh, okay.
And long-term care insurance premiums.
So it's not just for now, it's for later.
Yeah.
That's great. It rolls over year after year.
Okay.
So you build it up. It's a great way to be proactive.
Okay, I like it.
About your retirement healthcare planning.
So how much can you contribute?
There are limits.
Okay.
2025, the limit is $4,300 for individuals.
Okay.
$8,550 for families.
Okay.
And if you're 55 or older, there's a catch-up contribution.
Yeah.
$1,000.
So even if you're
older,
closer to retirement,
it's worth it. And this is something that John White can really help you figure out.
Okay, so John White again?
Yeah, how to maximize the benefits.
All right, John White, he's like a recurring character. In this episode, what about Medicare itself?
Right.
Like, are there any strategies for Medicare?
Yeah. So there's a supplemental insurance option called Medigap.
Okay.
And it fills in the gaps left by basic Medicare Parts A and B.
Okay.
It's basically extra coverage you can buy from a private insurer.
Okay.
And it covers things like copays, coinsurance, even some stuff abroad.
So it's like insurance for your insurance.
It is.
Okay, very meta, but
it is.
I get it. So what are the catches?
Okay, so you can't use Medigap if you're in a Medicare Advantage plan.
Right. I've heard of those.
Yeah. Part C.
Yeah.
So that's offered by private insurance companies.
Right. And they can offer like dental and vision and stuff.
Exactly. And Medigap doesn't cover prescription drugs.
Okay.
So you'll need a separate Medicare.
Prescription drug plan.
Prescription drug plan. Part D.
Okay. So Medigap supplements, basic Medicare.
Yes.
But you need to think about other options.
Yes.
If you want prescription drugs.
Right.
So this is another area where John White...
Absolutely. He can help you.
Could help.
Navigate all of it.
Okay. I'm putting him on a to-do list. Talk to John White about Medicare.
Talk to John White? Okay.
There's also something I've heard about called a health reimbursement arrangement. Or an HRA. Yeah, is that...
Those are helpful.
Okay.
But they're usually employer funded.
Okay.
And they're offered to retired employees.
So it's not something I can just like go out and get?
Yeah.
It's more like a bonus.
It is a bonus, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
how does that work then?
Your employer will set aside a certain amount of money
each year that you can use to reimburse yourself.
Okay.
For eligible healthcare expenses.
Okay.
So that could be like Medicare premiums.
Okay.
Co-payments, some out-of-pocket costs, things like that.
So are there like limits on that?
Unlike HSAs, there are no limits for HRAs.
Oh, wow.
It depends really on your employer and their plan.
Okay, so that's like a nice...
It's a nice perk.
If you can get it.
Yeah, if you can get it.
But not something to necessarily rely on.
Right.
In your retirement planning.
Yes, but if you do have one,
yeah,
John White can
tell you about it.
Help you figure out.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of different things in savings accounts.
Yep,
but
there's more.
There's more. I feel it.
There's more.
What else do we need to know?
We need to talk about proactive approaches.
Okay.
Like telehealth and preventative care.
I've heard of those, but how do they fit into all this?
So telehealth, virtual doctor's visits, that's a great way to save money on routine checkups, minor health concerns.
Yeah.
You can get the care you need at home.
Yeah, I mean, especially as you
get older.
Yeah.
That's harder to get around.
Yeah, telehealth, it's becoming
much more common.
More common. Yeah, I've even seen specialists doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's preventive care.
Okay.
Which is all about staying healthy to avoid the big medical bills.
Okay, so regular checkups.
Regular checkups, screenings, vaccinations can help catch things early when they're easier and cheaper to treat.
And a lot of those things are covered.
My insurance?
By Medicare and
other insurance plans.
Insurance plans, yeah.
So take advantage of that. So it's like investing in your health to protect your finances.
All right, and here's another thing.
Here's another John White.
From John White.
Tip. Don't underestimate.
Oh, okay.
Staying active. Eating healthy.
Yeah.
Managing your stress.
Totally.
It's good for you.
Yeah.
And it saves you money in the long run.
It all comes back to John White.
It does.
Okay, this is great information. I feel like we've just scratched the surface.
We have.
But what else do we need to know?
We need to talk about contingency planning.
Oh, okay. That sounds...
It's very important.
Important, but also...
a little scary.
A little scary.
Yeah, but think of it like this.
Okay.
You wouldn't drive a car without a spare tire.
Okay.
So we gotta have a spare tire.
Okay, what's our spare tire for healthcare?
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that in part 2.
In part 2.
Of our deep dive.
So
stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
All right, so where were we?
We were talking about that spare tire.
That spare tire.
The contingency plan.
That contingency plan, yeah.
Yeah, having that backup plan just in case things go wrong.
Yeah, because we all know life likes to throw those curveballs.
Absolutely.
Right.
Especially when it comes to healthcare.
Right.
So one of the most important things is having that emergency fund.
Okay, so like a rainy day fund?
Exactly. TIAA.
Okay.
They recommend having at least 6 to 12 months of expenses.
Wow.
Saved in an easily accessible account.
6 to 12 months? That's a lot.
It is.
Especially when you're also trying to save for retirement.
Right, but it's not just about the money.
Oh.
It's about knowing that you're prepared.
Okay, the peace of mind.
Peace of mind, exactly.
Yeah.
And this is another thing that John White...
of course can help you with. He's going to help us with our rainy day fund, too.
Well, he can help you figure out how much you need and what your risk tolerance is and all that.
Okay, so it's not just like a one-size-fits-all.
No. It's very personalized.
Yeah.
Which is what he's really good at.
Well, he's good at that personalization.
Yeah.
I feel like he could be a permanent co-host.
I know, right?
At this point.
He's great.
But
so
let's say we've got our emergency fund. We're feeling good.
Right.
About our contingency plan, but then something happens.
Right.
And we're still struggling.
Right. Are there any other options?
Are there any other safety nets?
Yeah. So there's Medicaid.
Okay, Medicaid. I thought that was more for...
So Medicaid is a joint federal and state program.
Okay.
And it's designed to help low-income individuals and families.
Yeah.
But
healthcare costs.
It can be used in both situations.
Okay.
If you're currently struggling or if you're a retiree.
Yeah.
However, Medicaid has some strict eligibility requirements.
I was going to say,
including
got to be some catches.
Asset limits.
Okay.
So you might have to spend down your assets.
Spend down your assets to qualify.
To qualify, yeah.
So it's really important to explore these other options, like long-term care insurance and those HSAs.
Yes, very important.
So you don't have to rely on Medicaid.
You're relying on Medicaid, yeah.
And John White can help you figure out.
John White again. He knows all about it.
He knows all about it. The eligibility and what other options you have. And
I feel like I need his number on speed dial at this point.
Seriously.
Okay, so.
Great. So we've talked about a lot. Are there any other resources that people can tap into?
Yes. The Investopedia article mentions a bunch that can help you plan and personalize your approach.
What kind of resources?
So first of all, Medicare.gov.
Okay.
That's the official website for Medicare.
Okay.
It has tons of information on how it works.
Makes sense.
What it covers, how to enroll.
Okay.
You can find details on the different parts of Medicare, compare plans.
Okay.
And even estimate your costs.
That's really helpful.
Yeah. And within Medicare.gov, there's a tool called Medicare Plan Finder.
Medicare Plan Finder. Okay.
It's like a shopping assistant.
Oh, I like that.
It helps you compare Medicare Advantage plans and Part D prescription drug plans based on what you need.
So it does all the work for you.
Kind of, yeah. Helps you navigate
That's great.
that confusing world.
Okay, what else?
There are some online calculators.
Ooh, calculator.
That can help you estimate your retirement
Yes.
income and project your healthcare costs.
Okay.
So one that's really good is the T-Row Price Retirement Income Calculator.
Okay.
It takes into account all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Social Security.
Pensions.
Investment income.
Okay.
And it projects your retirement income stream.
Okay.
So you can see if you're on track.
If you're on track, yeah.
To meet your goals.
Love it.
There's also the Social Security online calculator for benefits.
Okay.
And that one lets you estimate your future Social Security payments based on your work history. And when you want to retire, you can even adjust for inflation.
Oh, that's smart.
So,
get a more accurate picture.
You can actually
of what that money's going to be worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there's AARP's long-term care cost calculator.
Okay.
And that one can help you project the cost of different types of care in your area.
So you can see if you can actually afford to live there.
Exactly. It's important to understand those costs.
Even if it's scary.
Even if it's scary.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power, yes.
Okay.
And finally, the National Institute on Aging. They have a ton of information and resources on aging, including healthcare and financial planning.
So you can learn about
all
sorts of stuff.
All sorts of stuff.
On that website.
Yes.
So many resources.
So many resources.
You have to link all these.
Yes, in the show notes.
In the show notes.
But remember, even with all these resources, it can still be really helpful to have someone help you navigate this.
Like John White.
Yeah.
He's like our spirit guide for this whole thing.
He is. He's great.
So he can help you personalize it, figure out your needs.
Yes. Prioritize. Make good choices, and feel good about your retirement goals.
Okay. I'm convinced we need to get him on the show.
We do, but for now, what can people do today to start preparing?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Right now.
Like today, what can I do?
Today, well, there are a few things.
Okay.
So, number one, start saving as early as you can.
Makes sense.
Even if it's a little bit. Every little bit helps. Yeah. Put it in that HSA.
Okay.
If you can, take advantage of any employer-sponsored savings plans.
401k, that kind of stuff.
401k, 403b, whatever they offer.
Yeah.
And think about long-term care insurance.
Right.
Especially when you're younger.
When you're younger, because that gets more expensive.
It gets more expensive as you get older.
Okay, good to know.
And then finally, stay informed. Do your research. Things change.
Yeah, they're always changing.
All the time.
Yeah.
Regulations, costs, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So just stay up to date.
So it sounds like planning is really key here.
Planning is key.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't let it overwhelm you.
It can feel overwhelming.
It can, but the good news is there are people who can help.
Yeah, there are. That's what we've learned in this episode.
That's right. And,
you keep mentioning John White.
John White.
So let's talk about him.
Yes.
And his company, Financial Guideposts.
Financial Guideposts. So
I'm really intrigued at this point.
He's great.
So who is this guy?
He's the president of Financial Guideposts. He's a leading expert in retirement planning.
Okay, so he knows all about this stuff.
All about this stuff, especially these healthcare
challenges.
So he's the guy you call when you don't want to be blindsided by medical bills.
Yes, he understands
in retirement,
Medicare, long-term care insurance, HSAs, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But he knows how to put it all together.
Okay.
Actually, a plan.
A plan.
That gives you peace of mind.
I like that. And I'm guessing he can handle those more difficult situations too.
Absolutely. He's seen it all.
Okay.
He knows how to advocate to his clients.
Yeah.
And he makes sure they get the best care and financial protection.
Okay.
But he's also just a really nice guy.
Okay. That's important.
He's patient.
Yeah.
Compassionate.
Yeah.
He listens.
Oh.
Answers all your questions.
Okay. So how can people get in touch with him? We'll put his contact info in the show notes.
Okay, we'll do this.
But you should note that he is very approachable and he's really dedicated to helping people with this.
Okay.
you won't regret.
You won't regret reaching out.
Reaching out.
That's great to know.
Yeah, it's good to know that there are people like that.
Yeah, I was going to say it's reassuring.
It is.
Yeah, that they exist.
Yeah, and speaking of reassurance.
Okay.
Remember that quote from Jeffrey Malone?
Oh, yeah, from TIAA.
Yeah, he said, people aren't born with expiration dates.
That's true.
And while you may not end up experiencing long-term medical issues, you should feel comfortable knowing that if one were to present itself, you were prepared to meet that cost.
That's powerful.
It is.
And it really highlights the importance of being proactive.
Yeah, you can't predict the future.
Right.
But you can prepare for it.
You can prepare, exactly.
So don't wait.
Yeah.
Start now. Start now.
Explore your options.
Yeah.
Get the help you need.
Yeah.
And make good choices.
Okay.
Your future self will thank you.
Future self will thank you. I love that. All right. Well, on that note, if this deep dive has made you think more seriously about retirement,
absolutely,
reach out to John White at Financial Guideposts.
He's ready to help.
He's ready to help. He's got your back.
He does.
Okay, great. And that's it for this episode of The Deep Dive.
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.